GOP Convention Day 3, Cruz booed, teleprompter freeze and netcus. Here's the rundown on everything that went down on Day 3 of Trumpetfest 2016. After Mike Pence delivered a well-received debut speech as the Republican vice presidential nominee, Donald Trump joined him on stage and engaged in what must be one of the most awkward such encounters in recent history. Presented without further comment. As the senator whom the Donald dubbed Lyin' Ted delivered his convention speech, the crowd chanted Trump's name in urging Ted Cruz to endorse the Republican nominee. But Cruz demurred. Instead, he addressed the delegates from Trump's home state. "I appreciate the enthusiasm of the New York delegation," he said, before returning to his prepared, virtually Trumpless text, in which he urged vote your conscience. The non-endorsement drew a sharp rebuke from New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. "It was an awful, selfish speech by someone who tonight, through the words he said on that stage, showed everybody why he has richly earned the reputation that he has on Capitol Hill," Christie told NBC News. Those sentiments were echoed by Evan Power, a delegate from Tallahassee, who told USA Today's Ledyard King he was disappointed Cruz could not even bring himself to save our nation from Hillary. Throughout the primary process people questioned Ted Cruz's sincerity, but today we learned his concern was not for his country but only for his own personal political future, Power said. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, a vocal Trump backer, attempted to paraphrase Cruz and floated the idea that what Cruz said was equivalent to an endorsement. "I think you misunderstood one paragraph that Ted Cruz, who is a superb orator, say, and I just want to point it out to you," he said. Ted Cruz said, "You can vote your conscience for anyone who will uphold the Constitution. In this election there is only one candidate who will uphold the Constitution." So, to paraphrase Ted Cruz, if you want to protect the Constitution of the United States, the only possible candidate this fall is the Trump-Pence Republican ticket. That way, we have the Republican ticket to implement Republican principles in Washington. Okay. But I'm pretty sure that's not a paraphrase. Eileen Collins, the retired Space Shuttle commander, delivered a speech about space and about making the country's space exploration program first again in the world. She was supposed to end it this way. According to her prepared remarks: "We need leadership that will make America first again. That leader is Donald Trump." But she left off those last 5 words. It's unclear why, but the absence was definitely noted on social media. The Florida governor kicked off the night hailing Trump's directness. "I know that some have reservations about my friend Donald Trump," he said, adding that he knows at times Trump can be a little rough, not too polite and a little too direct. But he said the country has record high debt, its jobs are moving overseas and is seen as weak on the global stage. And he said Trump will make the tough calls needed to restore its strength. "We need a president who is politically incorrect," he said, adding that Trump is unafraid to say radical Islamic terrorism. Lynn Patton, the vice president of the Eric Trump Foundation and senior assistant to Ivanka, Eric and Donald Trump, Jr. praised the nominee and the entire family, while also encouraging minority voters to choose Trump. Historically, black lives have mattered less. My life mattered less. Whether we like it or not, there are people out there who still believe this to be true. I am proud to stand before you tonight and support Donald Trump, not just in spite of the color of my skin, but, in fact, because of the color of my skin. Donald Trump was clearly pleased by the remarks of one-time competitor Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. So he or his staff took to Twitter in a now-deleted tweet to thank Walker. Well, the Scott Walker. Actually a New Orleans news anchor who seized the moment. My and politics partner Eliza Collins reports: Michelle Van Etten, who is listed as a small business owner and someone featured in the Greatest Networkers in the World, second edition went during her speech, which featured a lengthy illustration of her childhood, time at a high school reunion and current career. Toward the end of the speech she gave veered off from the prepared remarks released by the Republican Convention Committee, but many people blamed it on a faulty teleprompter. As RNC Chairman Reince Priebus officially gavelled the evening's proceedings, news of yet another victory for the newly minted Republican nominee. Donald Trump made his latest grand entrance Wednesday in a helicopter emblazoned with Trump that circled the area so everyone could see, particularly the cameras, perhaps, before setting down in Cleveland. USA Today's David Jackson was there. His first grand entrance in Cleveland was Monday, when he walked on stage to introduce his wife in a manner that looked like a movie set with Queen's "We Are the Champions" blaring, something the group was not too pleased about. Protest groups clashed in some tense moments on the streets Wednesday, but the massive police presence kept most potential mayhem in check so far, using tactics such as surrounding or walling off groups from each other, the USA Today protest team reports. At one point, protesters burned a flag that authorities extinguished and 2 officers were assaulted in a melee, according to Cleveland police. Here's some great scenes captured by our team in the public square: The mystery may finally be solved as Trump aide Meredith McKiver fell on the proverbial sword Wednesday and said she was the one who incorporated portions of Michelle Obama's 2008 convention speech into Melania Trump's remarks this week. McKiver said that happened after the prospective First Lady read her passages from speeches of past First Ladies that inspired her. A person she has always liked is Michelle Obama, and she mistakenly included them in the speech. It's unclear whether that will quell the controversy. Trump himself, who was reportedly livid over the whole thing, seemed to take it in stride Wednesday, tweeting, "Good news is Melania's speech got more publicity than any in the history of politics, especially if you believe that all press is good press." News that Donald Trump Jr. U.S. speechwriter also recycled phrases from prior speeches he had written. Not technically plagiarism spurred media to question Eric Trump earlier Wednesday about his planned speech. The third of Trump's children to address the convention pledged on CNN, "I wrote every single word of my speech myself. America really wants to know more about them." Google reported that leading into Wednesday, Eric Trump was the subject of the most Google searches out of all of the 15 announced speakers that night, including the vice presidential nominee. Here's the top 5 searched: 1. Eric Trump, Executive Vice President, Trump Organization. 2. Pence. 3. Senator Ted Cruz, Art, Texas, the last GOP 2016 candidate to be vanquished by Trump. 4. Newt Gingrich, former House Speaker and 2016 GOP candidate. 5. Pam Bondi, Florida Attorney General. Trend mirrors Tuesdays, when Tiffany Trump was the most searched ahead of her convention speech. So who is Eric Trump? My colleague has the ultimate explainer. President Obama is trying to use the Republican convention to fundraise for Democrats.